Hello and welcome to the Dark Grey project. Today we want to talk about a solution to fix two types of problems. The first one is, how do you get your gear from your home to your car, from your car to your field, and potentially to a base in case it is a Milsim. And the second problem, which we want to fix at the same solution, is how to quickly switch your gear between Milsims and skirmish games. Alright, let's start with the topic in regard of how to carry your gear to the game. And traditionally, I want to believe there are kind of 5 different types of ways how to do that. Option number 1 is to use many small little bags, like a backpack medium size and another backpack, maybe a sports duffel bag in another hand. And no joke, I used IKEA bags at some point to carry stuff to a game. So you have a lot of small little bags and you carry them like 2-3 per hand. And as good as it is and cheap as it is to get started with this whole thing, especially if you go to Milsims and the bags get heavy and you have multiple bags, that's get really annoying. Option number 2 is a big gigantic duffel bag like this one here. So this is great because you can literally just throw all your crap in there and that's about it. I mean, it's cheap, it's easy. Well, what's the problem? The problem is, as soon as this thing gets heavy, and I mean heavy in terms of you add water to it, maybe for a day or two, rifle, ammo, plate carriers, boots, whatnot, and then carrying this huge heavy thing in your hand or even over your shoulder strap gets really painful and it's absolutely not recommended. Solution number 3 takes the idea of this big duffel bag and attaches rolls to it, like this one here. So this is the one from 511, carry all your stuff. And this one is actually pretty great because, as you see, you can put all your rifles down there as well. So this is actually a great convenient solution, isn't it? Well, the big problem again, because this thing gets really heavy, because it's a huge thing, so you put a lot of stuff in there. You still have to get in your car, so you kind of need almost 2 people, or you better not have a bad back like I do. And obviously the rolls are completely unusable over uneven terrain like forest, grass, and whatnot. So this thing has its limits. And the limits is everything beyond urban operations like skirmish games and whatnot. So those are the only type of games we would recommend this bag for. Option number 4 is taking the idea of this big loadout bags and attaching backpack straps to it. I now don't have one here, so I will try to show a couple of photos. But again, the idea is pretty simple because it fixes the problem with the rolls that you can now go over uneven terrain because you have a huge bag in your backpack. Now, the problem, however, is with these big loadout backpacks is they're not really great backpacks. They're not, these backpack straps are only for short distances and not for very long hauling things to, for example, to a base. And the second problem about these backpacks is it's very hard to extend them. So, for example, attaching any other pouches on the sides, sleeping bags, tents, anything which goes a little bit beyond the constraints of the pack, you will run into problems. So again, it is a very good solution if you have limited gear. For example, again, going to a skirmish game, it's perfectly fine, or as an additional loadout bag to Milsim. Anything beyond, like a one solution fixes all, it is not. Solution number 5 are load-bearing backpacks. So the ones who are designed to carry a lot and a lot of heavy stuff. So let's have a look at one. Alright, we are back, and you see here, that was Babu, our true tactical black cat, our newest member of the Dark Grey project. And any kind of tactical gear is like catnip for him, so you'll probably see him a lot during the shoot now. Anywho, so this is one of those huge backpacks I was just talking about, and this is truly the most comfortable and best way to carry a lot of gear, especially the heavy one, all around. So it fixes all the problems we talked about in terms of that things get too heavy and then carrying your hand over the shoulder, because it's a backpack, uneven terrain isn't such a big deal. You probably still need a rifle bag like this one back here, but again, the great thing about this one is that you can also expand it very easily with all the modular stuff, with backpacks at the bottom or sleeping mats and anything else like that, or like you can see here with that big duffel bag which is strapped on top of it. So this option number 5 is also our solution to the problem how to quickly switch between your Milsim and your skirmish gear. So let's quickly have a look at that. So the one specific backpack we're looking at here is the Eberlestock Skycrane Generation 2. There are other backpacks who can do similar things like the Mystery Range Overlord, but today we're looking at the Eberlestock one because it's, especially price-wise and quality-wise, it's pretty much unbeaten. especially with the combination of those Eberlestock super spiked duffel bags, which I strapped on the top of this one here, or which I have a second one at the side here. Also, this is not a very detailed review of the backpack itself, but instead it primarily demonstrates the philosophy and our idea how to fix those two problems. So, as we already established previously, these backpacks, especially those heavy load-bearing ones, are absolutely fantastic to carry around heavy weights. This frame is adjustable in height. It has a really fantastic hip belt. This thing stays on your core, on your lower back, and really stabilizes it and makes it very comfortable. So overall, this entire frame setup is really fantastic and so nice you barely feel the weight, especially if you go really heavy with a lot of water in there for several days, and this backpack still stays very comfortable. The next cool part of this whole setup is this super spike duffel bag, as I already mentioned, from Eberlestock. So let's quickly detach it here. This goes quite quickly. And the great thing about this duffel bag is, besides the fact that you get a really good one for the money, is the fact that it's square, as you see here. And it's absolutely simple. It has handles all over the place. And the cool thing about the square duffel bag compared to these normal round ones you get for your sport bags is the fact that you can load it up with gear very easily, especially if you think about shoes or plate carriers or all the other stuff, which normally is a little bit more squarey. And obviously, you can attach it very easily on top of this backpack here. So our principal solution, how to fix the problem, how to quickly switch between your Milsim and your Skirmish gear, is the following. The core backpack always stays the same, while the duffel bags swap. So if you go for a Skirmish game, you take this one, and if you're a Milsim one, you buy a second one, and you attach this one on top of it. However, there are a few important things to consider, so let's dive a little deeper. Now, let's have a look at this backpack itself, which is our core unit. To briefly look over what I have in there, just to get an idea. I will not review every little item here, but let's get quickly started. So on the side pocket here, I have all my gear in case it gets very cold. So there's an extra layer there, there's a ranger blanket in there, which is not necessarily what you need for skirmish games, but it's relatively light and takes away a lot of space. So that's why I keep it in here. And on the right side, again, not necessarily for skirmish games, at least not all of them. This is the rain gear, so rain pants and rain jacket. At the top compartment, we're talking about, again, a little bit more universal things. So I have here ammunition and magazines. Then in the side pocket here, in the rainproof zipper, is my battery compartment. In this case, another little LiPo bag. And then let's quickly look in the center compartment, which is the most important one. And the primary point for this whole thing is not necessarily the helmet, which I just have in there because, well, I needed a little bit of space. I could easily fit it in the duffel bags as well. However, the most important thing in here is water. So put all your water in the center and at the bottom of your backpack. This is the most comfortable space to carry heavy loads, and normally water is one of the heavy stuff. Plus there's food. As you already see here, a couple of snacks. So if I would go for a Milsim, I would probably load this up with also a little camping food and like jet boil, anything like that, maybe some camera equipment, night vision equipment, anything else which is either expensive or heavy or important for you to stay alive, like water and food. That all goes into our center compartment. The one thing I want to quickly show, what's the cool thing about this backpack, is that the inner compartment can be taken out completely, and now it functions as a separate backpack. So you can carry this entire thing as a base backpack to your CP during a Milsim, and then you can use this inner backpack, which is already ready and filled, depending on your game, and then you just run this one. Right, let's have a quick look in the individual duffel bags here. So this one is the skirmish one, and it starts with my Face Pro for skirmish games with ear protection because, well, I like my ears, they're beautiful. Belt for the pants. Speaking about pants, we have here the SOD gear pants in HCS color, and the fitting combat shirt for it, and plate carrier, which is again a respect to this gigantic duffel bag because it's probably one of the most less packable plate carriers we know. It's the one from SOD gear as well. Then this is a padded inner belt with Velcro, which I normally run for skirmish games exclusive. And this last pouch is a very, very important one, because this is the one pouch which I swap between my Skirmish Duffel Bag and my Milsim one. So there's one item you need to swap. And it includes things like radio, because we use radios for both type of games. Gloves, again, we use gloves for both type of games, so again, it's all universal here. iPro, in this game, is the revision Lotus Fangirl, I think, with the extra thermal glasses. iPro is obvious, you need it for both games. And any kind of mats, because, well, I have a back problem, so I always have a mat with me for both type of games. All ideally put it in a comfortable, confined pocket, so it's easy to swap. Now it is time to look quickly in the Milsim one. So we have all kind of little things in here, like mark, two types of hats, more type of ballistic glasses, more like sunglass type. This is the Eberlestock rain cover for the backpack here. And a nice camo pattern, because again this backpack might function as a base backpack, and then everything in Canada we have a lot of rain, so therefore we have a rain cover. A little bit light ghillie suit, which our good friend Doc Holiday reviewed in a separate video, so please have a look. My face mask modified for Milsims, because I don't need ear protection and I rather want to take it off and on easily. Then quickly combat shirt in again SOD gear, but this time in Pencott Greenzone. And the pants with it. Very heavy used, as you see. Sniper veil in case we get very, very stationary. All optional. It's kind of important to rather have a little bit too much stuff in here, and this bag evolves at least the content. Then you have too little. So it's also kind of a cool storage solution. Sling, because my Skirmish backpack has a sling, or rather the sling is part of the plate carrier, so therefore in a Milsim one I have a separate sling. Then those two bags include base layers, one for cold gear, the other one for heat gear, both from Under Armour, so for very cold weather or for very hot weather. Again, very, very compartmentalized in these small little bags, absolutely great. Battery pack, which I normally then would put sometimes either would fill up my chest rig in here, or I would put it in a big backpack, but you ideally have batteries in a pelican case, something which cannot be crushed and it's watertight. This padded pouch I sometimes fill up with electronics or other things which need a bit of padded protection, but at the moment it's empty. This is my chest rig, which you guys might already know from my hardcore Milsim loadout review. It's my basic chest rig I always go to. And then this pouch, I'll quickly go through it. It's basically a big pouch with a lot of small little crap in there, which I would normally fill up my chest rig, or to some extent my big backpack, my pants, anything like that. So let's have a brief look over this whole thing. I might list all the things on the screen somewhere here. So a garbage bag, so a carbine, a headlamp, a red light, a compass, two different types of bug sprays because we have really annoying bugs here in Canada, extra flashlight, big lighter, with more batteries, tape, pens, I think a watch, don't ask me why it looks so funny, a lock, compression straps, cliff bar, Leatherman tool, so all kind of small little crap as you see, which again ideally you put in a big pouch because you don't want to have them flying around in a big duffel bag. I normally don't use the shoulder straps for my duffel bag, so therefore I always keep them in there, but otherwise that sums up the Milsim duffel bag. One important note about this whole setup is the idea that these duffel bags contain only the gear which you put on before the game. So these are normally not the gear which I would take, for example, to a base in a Milsim. I might change back into a changing room for a skirmish game, obviously, because that's where I change and put on my clothes. But otherwise, ideally you would leave this duffel bag behind in your car, and then you carry the leftover backpack to your base, so you don't have this huge gigantic thing and then carry it around through the woods or desert. So as you've seen, it's pretty easy to quickly switch between your skirmish setup and your Milsim one. You just have to exchange the duffel bag on the big backpack here, and that's pretty much it. Well, obviously you have to replenish food, water, batteries, ammo, and so on. There's a few small little adjustments you're going to do here and there per the game, but trust me, it's a lot simpler, it's a lot easier, and all your stuff is already tucked away and pretty much ready to go. One thing you obviously shouldn't forget is the one pouch which you have to exchange between the two duffel bags containing the gear, which is reasonable and very, very important for both type of games. We're finally coming to an end to our little presentation today. I hope it was informative and helpful. Please let us know in the comments below how you carry your gear to the game. Have a good one.